Hi, in this video, I would like to present to you the Jihad ideology and to explain what it is about, because it is no longer just a minor extremist ideology. If there is one thing you need to know about Jihad, is that no matter who you are, where you are, and what your religion is, if you are not a Muslim, you are a target of this ideology. There are currently two main umbrella organizations that are dedicated entirely to the jihadization of the world. They are the Palestinian Council and the Muslim Brotherhood. Both have propaganda, indoctrination, and terrorist member organizations under their umbrellas. In the United States, they operate under assumed names and, according to the FBI, have hundreds of member organizations within member organizations that hide under the mask of social activism that are difficult to trace. The most influential person on the jihad ideology of those organizations was the Egyptian intellectual writer Sayyid Qutb. Qutb interpreted the Quran while inserting his own perspective in over 7,000 pages. His original purpose was to create a strong Muslim identity in Egypt in the first half of the 20th century, at a time when Britain and France built the Suez Canal. Britain and France displayed the Western lifestyle in Egypt, and Qutb's intention was to prevent the temptation of abandoning traditional Muslim values. He first targeted the Egyptian government for adopting democratic values, but his poetic writing style captured the imagination of many moderate Muslims that also adopted his ideology. Qutb explained that jihad is the promise of a social justice utopia in the entire world, by which everybody is happy about their place along the Muslim social hierarchy. This utopia requires that all people in the world convert to Islam, called homecoming. Bringing all people home to Islam is the Holy Jihad War, also called Dawah, that has two strategies, one by word and two by sword. The Jihad ideology is very black and white, which means that if you are not a Muslim, you are automatically committing heresy against Islam, which automatically makes you an enemy of Islam, punishable by death. There are circumstances, such as for exploitation reasons, where jihad provides a gray area, where non-Muslims are kept at the lowest possible ranks of the Muslim social hierarchy for the purpose of paying a high rate of tax. Qutb successfully elevated the jihad ideology to the top priority of every Muslim and asserted that adherence to the jihad ideology is what defines Muslims as Muslims. He then glorified the concept of the Shaheed, who ranks the jihad cause higher than his own life, and is willing to sacrifice his own life for it. Qutb himself became a Shaheed in the eyes of his readers when he was imprisoned and sentenced to death for conspiring to overthrow the Egyptian government. Qutb became obsessed with the need to eliminate the Jews with the creation of Israel as a Jewish state. The reason for it was that Israel negated the promise of the Muslim utopia. Jews, the enemies of Islam, being on top of the jihad understanding of the proper social hierarchy, was unquestionably unacceptable. But the jihadists who adopted Qutb's perception and interpretation of the Quran were not able to eliminate Israel with military force, in spite of numerous military and terrorist attempts. They then switched their Dawah strategy to attacking by word rather than by sword, where unfortunately they are currently gaining the upper hand. Israeli military strength became a weakness in the propaganda arena. With an astronomical budget from Qatar and Saudi Arabia respectively, the jihad war against Israel is now conducted through all forms of media around the world, taking advantage of free speech. Anti-Israel propaganda is now generated non-stop, day in and day out, around the world. And in case you don't know, it is anti-Semitic because Israel is Jewish. The original jihad cause of expanding Islam at any cost called for every Muslim to take part in the jihad war. But today jihadists also call for everyone, Muslims and non-Muslims, to take part in it. And it is now fought by many millions of moderate non-Muslim individuals around the world who are more than willing to spread lies about Israel. Together, they comprise the largest civilian army in the history of the world. What the non-Muslim individuals don't realize is that they too are considered enemies of Islam and are too on the Jihad Dawah list of converting them by word or sword. If you didn't know, now you know. Bye.